All right, final time here with San Diego Sports 760. Aztecs and Rainbow Warriors tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Pre-game coverage beginning at 6 p.m. Let's get into this Hawaii offense. I just saw a note. They've scored 30-plus in 4 straight games.
Yep.
For the first time since 2016. Their young quarterback, Micah Alahado, has had a huge year. He's got talented receivers everywhere. They're 6-3 overall. Let's start with your defense, which has been so successful. What type of challenge is it facing such a unique offense like Hawaii?
I know you said it, right? It starts with the quarterback, and their O-line is doing a good job working in sync together. The Q has a really good understanding of where his answers are, where the solutions are within his system. And then their back, number 30, man, he's a load. He comes downhill. They do a great job spreading you out formationally, right? And they do a really good job of getting their speed in space. The quarterback's really talented, throws really accurate, but then the back comes downhill on you, right? So, like, they've had a lot of success of getting people in some of their sub packages to cover all the speed and all the threats that are on the edge because they stress you in that way. So then you got more skinnies and skill on the field, and then there's still a nastiness where they want to come downhill on you with their inside zone and the different things that they're doing. So, yeah, they stress you out in a lot of different ways. They're obviously operating at a high level. They're scoring a lot of points, and they've been playing really, really well. In particular, some of their highest outputs have been when they're at home. So, yeah, in a weird way, there's some mirror images of our two clubs, right, with the way that guys have been going about it, and going to be a very unique challenge.
When you play an offense like they play, you're also going to have some really talented receivers. They have a number of them.
Yeah.
Can you kind of speak to what makes them work in Timmy Chang's offense, like Rafaeli Ashlock? But there's a number of players that can just make plays.
Yeah, I mean, they got 3 that are really, really special, right? That anytime they touch it, they can go the distance. They got good frames, great catch radiuses. They're strong through their route trees. They're willing blockers for one another. Mm-hmm. They play the game with passion. And again, like, they know where their opportunities are, and you can tell that when their number's called, man, there's a passion to go play and a passion to go compete when the ball is in the air. And again, I think it just stems from, Timmy and who he is. Like, he's got such tremendous character. He's such an unbelievable competitor. He's one of the guys that when we get together as head coaches and everything, him and I kind of always find one another. I think we're very like-minded in our approach to the game and philosophically what the game has meant to us and how we want to serve our guys. So their offensive identity, you can tell, is really taken on Timmy's personality. And I say that with the utmost respect. Like, man, they're competitive. They believe in slinging around the yard, and those wide receivers are a huge, huge piece of that can change the scoreboard anytime they touch it. So we got to do a great job getting, man, as many hats as possible to the quarterback to disrupt him, and then challenge the throws and challenge the catches, and, man, do an elite job in all phases of the game when it comes to our defensive football.
You ever throw on his quarterback film as a player? 17,000 yards passing?
I mean, just dealing it, dropping dime all over the yard.
And it's just a continuation. Again, Hawaii's had such a history and culture in this run and shoot, and obviously Timmy Chang played in it in the early 2000s. What about for your offense against this Hawaii defense? How do you hope to maximize opportunities? Yeah,
I mean, we got to control their front, right? So, I mean, they are doing a great job creating havoc up front with their defensive line, right? They are kind of if our fans recall when we were sitting and talking about Colorado State, how, hey, when they showed up, they were just going to get off the bus blitzing, right? Like, it was crazy. Their blitz percentage at the time when we played Colorado State was one of the highest in the country, if not the highest in the country. Well, Hawaii is the complete inverse because they can rush 4 and get home. Like they got one young man, number 79 now, like he is a Tasmanian devil. I mean, he plays with his hair on fire and is disruptive, and, not just TFLs and sacks, but quarterback hurries and his pressure rate that he's generating by himself. And, they play with a relentless passion to pursue the football that is really, really cool to see. Again, like, just play the game the right way, in my opinion, right? And so by being able to get home with 4 and be disruptive with 4, and then, their safeties do a really good job inserting in the run fits to equate numbers in that way. I think their corners are really good cover pieces. So, again, talented through all 3 levels. They play a lot of guys up front. They have great depth in their D-line, so those guys play fresh and they play hard and they keep them rolling and active, so there is no dip in their motor. Going to be a great challenge, right? Going to be a really hard moment for us to embrace and for us to maximize the opportunity, but that's what makes it meaningful.
No doubt about it. Has one of the reasons for your defensive success been your ability with just the front 4 to get home? Because it feels like, and we had Rob Orich on the radio, he talked about the blitz rate for San Diego State a year ago was much higher than it's been in 2025, and that's been impactful for your defense. Obviously.
Yeah, indeed. It kind of goes back to that process of, hey, let's win early downs so we can get teams off schedule, get to an advantageous position where if it's 3rd and 8 or more, where we can get one of our sub packages on the field, meaning all of our defensive ends, so that they can go pursue the quarterback, knowing that we've created some off schedule, obvious passing situations. Yeah, and let those guys go hunt, right? Like it's all the complicated things that we just talked about in the previous segments, and how deep in the weeds you want to get, right, about it all. Like it's also very, very simple, and it's a very simple game, right? If we can generate pressure with 4, that means we got 7 in coverage. They can only put 4, maybe 5 guys out, because 5 are going to be blocking with the O-line. Quarterback's got to throw it.
There's a math equation.
There's a math here, right? Like I'm a journalism major, but even I can figure out that math, right? And so the math then favors us. So, if you can continue to generate that pass rush the way that we have and the way that they have, like that's going to be one of kind of those telltale signs at the line of scrimmage. I know, again, cliche, but like who can control and who can hold up in pass pro, right? When the opponent is only rushing 4, because that's going to be something that both teams do, and it's how both teams defensively have had success. So which O-line and which offensive unit is going to be able to, own that opportunity to create a moment where their team can have more success than not.
What are some other final keys? You think of kicking games. Obviously, your kicking game's been terrific. Their kicking game has been terrific. Turnovers are always a story.
For sure.
What do you see as what could be a difference here?
Yeah, I mean, we've really been stressing to the guys, again, kind of we talked about in the first segment, there's a lot of things that have happened just with where we are in the season and just the fact of the matter of travel, that the situation is what the situation is, and don't make more of it than what it is. And instead of putting any time or energy in things that we can't control, like pour our time and energy and focus on the things that we can control, those controllables, right? That's going to be critical for our success. And then also I think the red zone possessions are going to be really, really critical within this game tomorrow evening, right? So we know, again, the way that their offense moves the ball, there's going to be some things that, hey, kind of bend, don't break, because if you stretch yourself out too much, they have the wide receivers on the edge to change the game with explosive plays. And then as the field condenses and you get in the red zone, like, can you hold them to 3? And if you hold them to a field goal opportunity, can you go get a block? Right? That's going to be a big, big phase of the game. And then conversely, when you spin it for our offense and special teams and how it's all tied together, like how can we win the field position game when we get those critical stops? And then offensively, when we get into the red zone, we've had too many empty possessions the past 2 weeks against the team up north, right? And against Wyoming, where we've gotten into that red area and we've come away with no points. Like you can't do that in a game like this where there's an explosive offense on the other side. You got to maximize each one of those possessions, and kicking game's a part of it. Offensive execution is a part of that, and just seizing the moment, seizing the opportunity because your preparation has prepared you for it.
San Diego State and Hawaii for a final time in the Mountain West, although these two teams are scheduled to play again later in the decade, both in San Diego and Hawaii. Huge opportunity for the Aztecs coming up tomorrow night. Sean, as always, we appreciate it. We'll catch up with you from Hawaii.
Great. Thanks, Sean. Go Aztecs.
All right, for Sean Lewis, my name is John Schaefer. 8 o'clock tomorrow night, San Diego State and Hawaii, with pregame coverage at 6 p.m. right here on San Diego Sports 760.